that I'm going to try and put forward to you today is that the purpose of security is to restrict access. That's what security does. When you talk about security, what you're talking about is preventing some people from getting access to something. And when you prevent someone to get access to something, you also make it a lot more difficult for a large number of other people to get access to something because they have to go through all the kinds of security measures that you put in place. So that's the thing. We say that security fundamentally restricts inclusiveness. So what do we get from Tito in his speech? Well, he talks about security risks and how terrorist attacks might happen and how the Olympics are a big target. We say there are a number of problems with that analysis. So firstly, we say the kind of exceptional risk that a terrorist attack poses is the kind of thing you can never fully prepare yourself against. The nature of this kind of attack is that you will have security in place, and you can put more security in place, and you can put more security in place. But the fact is the terrorist who's plotting his attack can always either find a hole in the security and then carry out his attack, or if he can't find a hole in the security, he's just not going to bother, and then he's going to find another time to carry out his attack. The issue with terrorist attacks is, okay, yes, it might be better from a terrorist point of perspective to carry out an attack in the Olympics, but actually, like, terrorist attacks are usually gain enough publicity by themselves when they just happen, like with 7/7, like with 9/11. There was no big event happening then. It turns out that if you blow up a load of people, you're going to get loads of publicity when you do it. And you don't have to do it at a big sporting event to get all the publicity for your cause. Yeah, Tito.
Do you see any value in the Olympic legacy? And if so, what effect do you think it will have on it by attaching the cachet of a terrorist attack to that event?
Okay, we accept that, okay, if there is a terrorist attack at the Olympics, then that's going to just take over the message of the Olympics completely. It happens at night. The only thing I think everyone remembers from the Munich Olympics is that the Israeli team got kidnapped and killed. That's bad. The point is, we say that if that's going to happen, then there's not much you can do to stop that happening. You can try hard. We say you shouldn't try so hard that you completely remove all kinds of inclusiveness, all kinds of value from the Olympics. We say the fundamental value of the Olympics, of sporting events as a whole, is that they are inclusive. We say that that's the good thing that comes from them. We say it's people from all cultures, from all backgrounds, coming together and taking part in common sporting events. No, you've already asked your question. So, if you stop people doing this because you have this veil of security that prevents any kind of real interaction, any kind of integration, then we say that you've completely destroyed the point of the Olympics. You might as well not bother. Dave said he's made his argument about the Titanic. He asked how many holes should the Titanic have had. And Tito said just one. Well, the answer is yes. The answer is one. You only need one hull on the Titanic if you just steer around the iceberg and you don't drive right into it. We say that similarly, if you think the only way to hold the Olympics is to wrap it up in so much security, in so much protection, that it's completely inaccessible to everyone in society, and it has no benefit whatsoever, we say that actually you should just avoid hosting the Olympics entirely in the first place and let someone else do it. So that probably you shouldn't do that. We say that if you actually want access to the Olympics, if you want the Olympics to be a good thing, then you have to open them up. You have to let them be accessible. You have to free up the security a bit. So what do we say security does? We say that the security at the Olympics has reached such an extent that it basically turns the Olympics into this elitist event which is inaccessible. What do I mean by that? We say it's incredibly expensive, really expensive. Last cost we heard for the Olympics was about £500 million. So that creates a bunch of problems by itself, because it means that if the average cost of providing security for the Olympics is £500 million, up to $1 billion if you're in Canada and Vancouver doing the Winter Olympics, basically means only rich Western countries and China can host the Olympics, which means that everyone else in the rest of the world who might ever want to bring the Olympics to their country can't do it, because they can't afford to have the massive amounts of security, all the private police, all of the jet fighters circling the skies to prevent terrorists from showing up in their own jet fighters that they don't have, from showing up and ruining the Olympics from everyone. We say, actually, you probably don't need that much security. We think it's a bad idea to generate a culture where it's expected that you have that much security, because it obviously prevents people from accessing the Olympics. And for those reasons, we'd like you to oppose this motion.